Hello, my friends. I've owned this deck for a while, so I'm giving you a little background because it seems to matter. All right, so when I buy a new deck, I typically don't read with it right away. I keep the deck and wait until, until I feel like using it or feel called to use it, however you want to look at it. Some decks call me to use them a lot sooner than others. This one I've had for months and I haven't used it. My other, what is it called? The Celtic Mandala deck? That one I had for something like 20 years before I felt called to use it. So I'm being very literal. I did not break the seal on it for 20 years. So that's this one right here. But this one, I've had it for months. I think I bought it before Christmas of this year. Or last year. Obviously, Christmas is at the end of the year. In any case, it's been bugging me for the past couple of days. So apparently I'm supposed to start using it now. And it is quite shamanic. It also emphasizes getting answers from devas, spirits, fairies from the fairy realm. I'm not sure I'm using the right words here. I have not read the book in detail, so I'm sure I'm getting it all wrong. So I'm going to have to use the book a lot, because although this is set up as a tarot deck with major arcana and minor arcana and all that, it's quite different. This is what the back of it looks like. If you're wondering, it's called the Chrysalis Tarot. And it is the winner of the Tarot Sophist Award for the Best New Deck of the Year and the COVR Award for Best Tarot Deck of the Year by the Coalition of Visionary Resources. The Tarot Sophist Award was from the Tarot Professionals Worldwide. And what year did it come out? 2019, I think. So it's not that new. It's not exactly old either. In any case, we will be depending heavily on the book. And I am using a reading from the book. Spread from the book. So this is the Sorceress. This represents Pythia and Morgan Le Fay, which the creators feel are shamans, and as well as the Sorceress having the oracle traits, being someone you go to get advice or guidance, which is fitting for a tarot reading. But this right here, they call this the Cauldron of Rebirth. So this is supposed to be based more on Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, I believe. And the crow represents Morgan Le Fay, I think. But there's a whole chapter just on this card, and I'm not going to read you the whole chapter. But I drew a couple of cards to see what your major issues that you wanted to be addressed were. We have the 9 of Stones and the 6 of Stones. So once again, we are in Pentacles. Let me see if I can find the entry on that. There we go. 6 of Stones. All right. We're starting with caritas, a Latin term for the unconditional love known as charity. Cards numbered 6 in tarot imply the reconciliation of or integration of opposites, as well as the restoration of balance and harmony. The opposites in the 6 of Stones are the fruits born by giving and receiving. The gold-colored stones are known as heliodors, the gifts of the sun. The green stones are emeralds, symbolizing the vitality of the human heart, and caritas, the gift of giving. Both gems are a type of beryl, a talisman closely associated with higher consciousness and healing. So, the Six of Stones draws attention to healing through giving and to charity, self-acceptance, and the acceptance of others. It may also spark an interest in chakra clearing and alignment. Prana should flow freely through each of us, just as it does through the Celtic tree of life. So, since I have more, my training is more in the Chinese realm, it would be Qi, not Prana, but same idea. The nature... Okay, wait a minute. This nature of giving and receiving pranic energy is karmic. The more we give, the more we receive, and the more we grow in spiritual awareness. Okay, so healing through giving, charity, self-acceptance, acceptance of others. Perhaps clearing and aligning your chakras, and any work that helps to align your prana or chi. So yoga, tai chi, qigong. I know I always talk about those. All right, next we have the Nine of Stones. Apparently there are no reversed meanings in this deck, so we'll not be doing that. Okay. The 9 stones represent mixed memories of joy and despair, love and fear, gain and loss, regret and acceptance, blame and forgiveness, attachment and detachment, selflessness and self-centeredness, trust and distrust, and surrender and control. The last stone may be the hardest to renounce. We like to be, or like to pretend to be, in complete control of our lives. On a true hero's journey, whether existentially or allegorically, such control is impermissible. The young lady in the 9 of Stones answered the call of her inner shaman. Her load is light. She carries no preconceived notions of how life ahead will unfold. She is indifferent to expectations and content with acceptance. She is simultaneously one with nature and the universe, and the energy of both flow through her. So you're trying to come to terms with all this surrender business. Detachment. That's a big deal. Not easy. So you're trying to find oneness. It talks about going from the pursuit of happiness to the happiness of pursuit. So simply enjoying each and every step along your journey. And obviously, as we already talked about, letting go, trust, surrender, with no expectations, and be content with acceptance of your life as it is, with every step. So, this is, of course, very challenging. Let's see what other messages we have for you. And these are supposed to be messages from, I guess, the fairy realm. The spirits that live in a dimension next to ours. 10 of Swords. 10 of Stones. I'm used to seeing decks that use crystals as swords. But this is 10 of Stones. You have the Emperor. It did come out in reverse. So you may need to look at some wounding around ideas of, well, again, control. It came out here. Remember, we were talking about control, acceptance, letting go, no expectations, The Emperor would be feeling strong and in control. Not in control, but strong in themselves, no matter what the situation. They don't need external things because internally they are strong, they are coherent, they are true to themselves and authentic. I didn't talk about the Ten of Stones, but that is about feeling materially established, grounded. Then we have Papa Legba, strength. This comes from a very different tradition. And the Queen of Stones. You have a lot of pentacles in this reading, or stones. This also came out in reverse. Again, I don't think they do reversals in this deck. The Artiste. Are you allowing yourself to express yourself? Suppressed creativity can cause a lot of problems. Okay. This thing is not set up in a way I'm accustomed to. Okay. All right. The Artiste, Queen of Stones. So this would be the Greek muses. The Artiste may symbolize a real person or a spiritual force in your life that compels you to create for your own enjoyment and for others as well. Artistes are natural healers. Their beautiful creations, unique knowledge, or adept skill in the performing arts focus the mind's eye on the present moment. Beauty steals attention from the ruminating efforts to fix past problems, which is a wasted energy. As spirit guide and familiar to the Artiste, the butterfly symbolizes an ability to appreciate beauty from many perspectives. Butterfly eyes cast 1,000 lenses of joy on readings to help you appreciate the beauty that surrounds the present moment. All right, Papa Legba. I will get to these from the book as well, but all right. So there's a whole chapter in this book just on this card. Papa Legba's Unseen Travels. That's the name of the chapter. So this deck is a dialogue with the collective unconscious. Papa, as gatekeeper and messenger, is at your side in every reading. He is our liminal, betwixt and between archetype who attends the crossroads that lead from this world to the magical world beyond. He vivifies the dialogue between tarot reader, the individual cards, and the other world. Information in the form of subtle energy is transmitted from the other world, a dimension that includes the collective unconscious, the fairy realm, and the ancestral realm, and is received by the personal unconscious mind. Okay, the drawing, no, that's not it. This right here is called a veva. It's his other world phone number, so to speak. One of the easiest ways to read Chrysalis is to take Papa from the deck and set him to one side as you perform a reading using 2 or 3 drawn cards. In no time at all, you'll notice an exponential increase in your ability to understand Chrysalis cards intuitively. They are very talkative, and practice makes perfect. Well, you're being called to work with your intuition, perhaps with Papa Legba, if you are drawn to that tradition as well. That's also known as Vodun, commonly known as voodoo. But if you are interested, that's perhaps something to meditate on. So this card is all about communication between you and different realms. It's a very different meaning of the Strength card, but there we have it. This is a very different deck. Let's see what they say about the Green Man. It's Emperor, sort of. Oh. The heart and soul of nature, a vegetation deity. Okay, Green Man signifies the unrealized potential and resourcefulness of the human spirit. He reminds you to live mindfully in the present moment and give thanks daily for nature's cornucopia of abundance. But above all, Green Man personifies nature's voice, which always speaks to you. His inspirations appear in dreams, memories, and our intuition. Green Man confirms his role in your life via meaningful coincidences of synchronicity. A gentle puff of wind at an auspicious moment, a birdsong or crow caw, or a wispy image in a drifting cloud. These are musical notes in Green Man's loquacious symphony. Green Man reminds us of a line from William Wordsworth, "Come forth into the light of things. Let nature be your teacher." Interesting. And finally, 10 of Stones. You started out with the 6 of Stones and the 9 of Stones, and now you have the 10 of Stones. So these are your guidance cards. The 6 and the 9 were your issue cards, so definitely an issue around letting go and continuing your journey. So those are supposed to be selenite crystals, apparently. This is a polite tap on the shoulder from the fairy realm by a sprite who fancies mental clarity and selenite. It reminds you to maintain a balanced perspective between the material and spiritual realms. It does seem you are really being called to get in touch with more than your physical reality. It is very important that you be grounded when you do this, so you don't lose touch with this physical reality, because it is our reality. But perhaps the Green Man is that reminder to be grounded and let nature guide you. Let your creativity flow and allow yourself to receive inspiration from other sources. I see this symbol here, but I think it's repeated here on his clothing too. You do seem to be at a crossroads. Perhaps becoming much more in tune with other less material aspects of life. I'm finding it very interesting that all of your minor arcana cards, all of them, are stones, pentacles, all of them. You have, well, this one doesn't count because I pulled it. You're supposed to pull this card to guide the reading, so that's what I did. But these others I shuffled out, and you have 1, 2, yes, you have 2 major arcana cards and 4 pentacles cards. So, and just so you know, this deck has been shuffled. I have dropped it, which means that things really get mixed up. And yeah, it appears you are really at a crossroads regarding your material development and your creativity and inspiration, perhaps connectedness to other ways of being. Well, this has been an interesting reading. I hope you got something out of it, and I am wishing you all the best.